Okay, folks, welcome back. So I hope I'm looking forward to seeing your adaptation pitches. As I said, I've really enjoyed reading your stories. And by the way, I meant to ask Sparrow to do it live on camera, but I forgot to. But she has already in advance waved the permission fairy wand to give everybody the permission to go ahead and write the story that accompanies the invitation that you wrote in the previous game. All right. Okay. So. Thank you for submitting your adaptation ideas. There's still time to do that. Let's do another drawing. Let's do another drawing during the Signum Academy Clubs one. And this one, let's see. Let's do an anytime audit draw here. So the winner of this drawing will receive an anytime audit registration for the Signum course in the catalog of your choice. So I'm going to get that ready here. All right, resetting the giveaway. All right. And I am opening the giveaway there. So as before, type !raffle and you will be entered in the new drawing for an anytime audit, which we will be doing at the end of this session. And let me also just there it is. I'm just going to post again the link to the adaptation challenge for people who might have missed that or whatever. Okay. There is the link. So you can submit your adaptation challenge idea. Don't forget that for everybody who submits all four entries today, you will qualify for the grand prize. We'll have the best contributor of the day for overall contributions. But you have to contribute you have to submit for all four of them in order to qualify. All right. And I realize that that's challenging for like folks in Europe for whom it's going to be like 3:00 in the morning by the time we finish. But if it's any consolation, it was like 3:00 in the morning when we started for Takako. So over in Japan, she was doing a space module. And I don't know, what time was it even for you, Takako, when you were participating in the Old English module? Something like 5 or 6 a.m. by that point. Anyway, okay, there we go. Looking forward to reading those. All right. Okay, so without further ado, let us go on to our next segment, which is an update on Signum Academy. I am joined by Elise Trudell-Cedeno, who is coordinating our Signum clubs. How are you doing, Elise? Welcome.
Okay. Hello. Thank you. Hi, Corey.
Hey. All right. So excited to learn more. I was mentioning earlier that we're going to be doing some new things in clubs soon. But I'll let you take it away and kind of tell us about what's been going on in Signum Academy, and then we'll talk a little bit more about what's coming up.
I'd be happy to do that. And I'm just going to share my screen so everyone can see. Hi, my name is Elise Trudell-Cedeno, and I am one of the coordinators for Signum Academy and Signum Academy clubs. We've been having a really great run with Signum Academy. And so we've been open since, I want to say, April of 2020.
Yep.
And it's been a really fantastic time. We've continued with our partnership with Mount Royal Academy for the second school year in a row, where we've been working with them on Spanish conversation. And So today is just an update on what we have been doing. And for those of you who may not be aware of what we do in clubs and the structure of clubs, this is a refresher for anyone who may not be familiar. And there we go. So Signum Academy clubs, it's like space for kids. We have monthly modules. We have 4 separate clubs. We have book club, we have writing club, and we have 2 language clubs. We have conversational language club, and we have a translation language club. And with translation, that's geared more towards languages that are no longer spoken in the modern world. So conversation club is for the more modern languages. We have Spanish, Italian, French, etc. Whereas in translation, we currently have an Old English language club.
I started off saying dead languages, and people told me that was too pejorative. As a
Yeah,
medievalist, I'm totally comfortable with it, but yes,
there's dead and then
historical
there's dead.
languages. Yes,
Historical languages,
yes,
languages that are no longer. I mean, I in Signum, I can walk up to a random person and just start talking in Old English. But if I were to do that at my family Thanksgiving dinner, I have it. I do get the hairy eyeball. Like what is wrong
right.
with you? So no longer common languages, no longer
Yes.
practice languages. And in our writing clubs focus specifically on creative writing.
Hmm.
We try we make our clubs fun opportunities to work together. We meet like space. We meet for 2 1-hour sessions per week, and the groups that we have are grouped by age, and all of our students are if not in the exact same, but in a similar age group. So of course we have 3rd to 5th grade, 6th to 8th grade. Um, all of our kids are they've been wonderful participants,
Hmm.
and many have stuck around for the entire year and a half that we've been working on Signum Academy clubs. Um, I have I have three students in my book club who have been in the club since its inception, and it's still going strong. And it's fantastic. They're fantastic. Clubs is meant to be laid back, relaxed. We have activities, we have assignments. However, there's no grading. There are no points assigned to at least with the clubs.
Right.
The Mount Royal Academy students do receive a grade for the work that they do, but with Signum Academy clubs, it's by choice, and any activities that might be given in between club sessions are for practice or for preparation for the next club meeting. So, for example, in my book club, not only do I give students a chapter assignment, a chapter reading, but I also give them a journal question to think about in case they're not able to participate in a discussion in the next meeting, or students are shy to speak up. I give them this journal question offers another opportunity for a discussion. And if you've been in one of my space modules, I conduct my space modules exactly the same way I conduct my book clubs in Signum Academy. And one of the great things that we've had recently is because we've been working in Signum Academy for the past year and a half, we have received testimonials from our parents, and we've received feedback from our parents to say that this works. It's the club atmosphere is laid back and fun and supportive for our students. It's easy to use. It's simple enough that kids can be independent and attend meetings on their own without too much help from their parents. But anytime parents have questions for preceptors, they're able to reach out to us and receive a quick response. And this shows that it's been working. The clubs aspect has been working, and it's been fun. So I teach a book club section, and I make sure that the kids guide the discussion. I give a set of readings. We think critically about the texts, and I have my students come to club with their own discussion questions. I could come to club and I could give all kinds of exercises, and I could give all kinds of questions to talk about, But really, I want the students to think about their own critical analysis skills, and I want them to think about what they've gotten out of the text. And if students have trouble coming up with a discussion question, I'm happy to give prompts, I'm happy to give question stems, but really I want them to talk about what they want to talk about. And together, and we read one book a month. There have been some longer books where we've had to extend to 2 months. For example, we've had to do 2 months for J.K. Rowling's The Deathly Hallows, because it was a big chunk. That was a big chunk of text. But every month we discuss, we talk, and we also set goals for books that we want to read in the future. So we've gone back and forth between Percy Jackson and Harry Potter. We've read The Hobbit, and we had a couple of students who were really interested recently in historical fiction. So after a whole bunch of fantasy books, as much as we loved fantasy, we needed a palate cleanser. So we started reading Jennifer Nielsen's A Night Divided. And this month we're reading Show Me a Sign by Anne-Claire Lazat. I hope this is a library cover, so I hope you can still, the light isn't shining too much on it. So this is a historical fiction novel about the historical village of Chilmark in Martha's Vineyard. And about 25% of that village was deaf or hard of hearing. And so this was a community in Martha's Vineyard that spoke almost exclusively in Martha's Vineyard Sign Language. And this book was written it has been written by a deaf author. And so the students get not only a new opportunity to learn about a historical village and a certain point in history, but also about deaf history and about deaf education history and what it means from another person's perspective, from a deaf person's perspective, to communicate and to write as a deaf author. And so the students have really enjoyed this book, and we're just absolutely blown away every single month. We're blown away by new things that we've discovered. So I came today because I also wanted to share the upcoming books. On Monday, my students sat down and they said, okay, I've got a whole list of books that I want to read. When are we going to read these? When are we going to read? When are we going to read this book? When are we going to read? They came together, they spoke together about the books they wanted to read. We didn't even need to vote at this point. They said, okay, I know what this person wants to read. I know what this person in our club wants to read. So let's put this here. So we've got a December, another historical fiction book for, it's called Brother's Keeper by Julie Lee. In January, we're continuing with Sophie Anderson by reading A Castle of Tangled Magic. And Jennifer A. Nielsen not only has written some historical fiction books, but she's also written some fantasy books as well. But we've really enjoyed her historical fiction, so we're going to continue with two of her historical fiction books. And I'm really excited for this one. We're gonna focus on the appendices of the Lord of the Rings in March and April. So the students decided together, we love the Lord of the Rings, but that's going to take a really long time. And they've been reading the Lord of the Rings with their parents, because hello, this is Signum University. This is where we come to read the Lord of the Rings. But they were kind of confused about the appendices and how to read those independently. So we're going to work together to read the appendices. We're going to organize it, and we're going to set it up in such a way that we're going to look at it almost like a historical fiction text, because as we know, Tolkien says this is our history. This is English history. Well, yes, that's a very loaded comment. That's a very loaded thing to say, but you know what I mean. Okay. We also have our writing club, also precepted by the illustrious Sparrow Alden. So if you've enjoyed your space modules with Sparrow Alden, she's just as awesome in our writing clubs. These are fun skill building exercises, world building, and she provides just the space for these kids to write, because in school it's writing, academic writing, the not so fun writing, and sometimes our kids just need the space to write what they want to write. And she also provides opportunities for kind peer review, the opportunity to share with the group, to share and receive peer feedback. And she's fantastic at making sure that all peer review is not only helpful, but is also kind. And if a student is ready to share with the group, they can share with the group. If they're not ready, then they share it with Sparrow. And Conversation Club is the opportunity for conversational language skills in the foreign language, whether it's through reading and writing, through talking about celebrations, talking about daily interactions, expressing likes and dislikes. It's interactive and it's fun. And of course, in Translation Club, there's we currently have an Old English translation section up. Corey, I believe your son Matthias has been taking Old English Club. Corey, has Matthias been enjoying it?
He has been, yes. Yeah, it's been fun as we've been, it has led to many conversations in the car. I keep forgetting, actually, like, we'll see something, because again, as you said, like Signum World, right? Like some Old English thing will come up and Matthias will read it and I'll do a double take. I'm like, oh, that's right. I forgot that you know Old English now. Anyway, yeah, it's been great. He's been doing it now for over a year. And so they just they go through and with Isaac Schendel, who's teaching it, go through, and they're translating poems like our Signum MA students do now. It's pretty awesome.
Yeah, and I really enjoy what Isaac says about Old English text being fun puzzles, because it not only is it poetry, this is the basis of our current English, and so it's fun to puzzle out what certain words might mean. And Isaac's been great about providing extra videos and extra explanations for the more complex grammatical systems and grammatical explanations that may or may not have come up in club. And so having that, and having Google Classrooms available to post extra materials and extra videos for students who may need that little bit of extra help outside of the club session, that's been very helpful as well. And hey, even beginners will find themselves reading advanced poetry with just a bit of help after a few weeks. So imagine going to Thanksgiving dinner, going to your cousin's bar mitzvah, and shouting out the first paragraph of the Beowulf poem, the opening of the Beowulf poem, and just wowing the crowd. I mean, come on, yeah,
it's pretty awesome.
Every 13-year-old wants to do that, I'm sure. Okay. So we have some new club sections open, some new modules opening up in January. We're continuing with our creative writing club with Sparrow Alden. We're also opening up the opportunity for Japanese conversation club for January. And we're also opening for Elvish languages translation club. And remember, Elvish languages, that could be Quenya, that could be Sindarin. Join the module and you'll find out. So remember, these are for kids. So if you want this for space, you got to submit to your wish list for space modules, but tell your kids.
All of these things also available in space. By the way, it's funny, Elise, you mentioned that, you said at the beginning that clubs is like space for kids. Of course, the irony is that historically, it's the other way around. One of the inspirations for space was we started clubs and everyone was like, man, that sounds awesome. I want to do that. Why is that only for kids? And we're like, yeah, we should do it. So space was originally clubs for grown-ups is what it was. So yes, the two of them are very similar. Volume. Yeah. But yeah, this is, I am so excited about our new clubs that we're starting up in January. Japanese Conversation Club has been a big request. I know some people who are definitely going to be interested in that. And I've been getting requests like from other, like my sister-in-law was just texting me like last week and being like, hey, like, do you guys do Elvish translation clubs? I want that. And I'm like, well, okay. So anyway, this is, it's going to be great fun. And of course, doing another creative writing club section with Sparrow is going to be awesome. We just had some graduates, some people graduating out of the club's program. It is one of the, it is one of the sad things about clubs is that eventually you graduate from clubs and get too old for clubs. But fortunately, you can then just go into space. So it's all good. Yeah. Yeah. Anyway, so that is, I said, I'm really excited about this. So you can go and you can register right away. So I just posted a link to the homepage of the Signum Academy in the chat. And if you go to that webpage and scroll down, there's a link to register. The registration is just a simple form to express your interest, and we can start figuring out where people would fit, and we'll be back in touch with you to kind of sort things out there. So if you have or know of a kid who would be interested in creative writing, Japanese or Elvish, or somebody who wants to jump into Old English or Elise's book club also, those are things then you can do for January.
If you want to register yet, or if you're interested in other opportunities with Signum Academy clubs that I will talk about in a moment, you can also email us at academy@signumu.org. Mm-hmm. So our clubs are subscription basis. We're not on BlackBerry. We're not on Goldberry yet. Crossing fingers.
Yeah.
But if you just send us an email and register online, we have one subscription includes memberships and membership in one of our clubs. And so what's also great is that discounts are available for multiple members in the same family. So we have sibling discounts. We have, I don't think we haven't done anything for cousins yet, but yeah, we have multiple members.
Yeah, for households, yeah.
For households, yes. You never know. So yes, discounts are available for multiple members. We also have a discount for if one individual wants to sign up for multiple clubs, we have a discount for that as well. We also have discount rates for school groups, homeschool co-ops, and military families. So if you are a military family, if you are part of a homeschool group or a homeschool co-op, and you want to create a section for yourself, just send us an email at academy@signumu.org, and we can create a section just for you. Now, if you want our referral rate, tell your friends and family, and for every friend, for every youngin who signs up for Signum Academy, you yourself can receive a free month as well for your own club section. Again, academy@signumu.org.
Yeah. So, and because I would just reiterate there, if you have a group of people, like, so, say you're involved in a homeschool co-op or something, right? And you guys want to do a book club. Maybe you want to do a language, like you want to do Japanese or a different language. It doesn't even have to be of the clubs we're running right now. If there's a language you want to do, like somebody was just asking about Korean. Well, we don't have any immediate plans for Korean, but if there were to be a group of people who said like, hey, our homeschool group wants to do Korean language, we'll say, all right, we'll get a preceptor and we'll make it happen. So we can same thing with languages. You want to study Greek, with the translation club. You want to do a Greek translation club. You want to do a Latin translation club. You want to do there's any number. You want to do an Egyptian hieroglyphics club. We can make it happen.
Sky's the limit.
Yeah. So again, that is just, especially if you're coming in with a group of people, we can make almost anything happen that way. With individual registrations, of course, we do need to get a bit of a quorum before we can really get a club going. But that's why we've announced these ones that we're planning on. But yeah, so if you see something that we're not offering and that you wish that you would, find a few friends who are interested in doing it too, and we can make it work.
Exactly. It's the butts in the seats that we need. We need a group. We need several people who are interested in this so that it's hard to have a book club discussion with only one student. I have managed to make it happen because I have fantastic students. However, it's a bit back and forth. So it's a lot more fun in a group. So if you have a group of kids of three or more kids who are interested in Korean, ancient Greek, I almost said Japanese hieroglyphics. My God. Egyptian hieroglyphics,
Yeah.
etc. Send us an email, register online. We will help you. We will work with you, and we will work with you to make sure that everyone gets the time and the date that and the day of the week that is helpful for you and your group.
Yeah, as always, we try to accommodate that. Like all of our core teaching programs, Signum Clubs is designed to be live, not in person, but
Yes.
synchronous. So, with everybody there in a real classroom experience with a teacher working through this stuff together. That means we try to work around people's schedules as much as we can. Sometimes that's complicated and we're not able to accommodate everything, and there's some flexibility required, but we do
Mm-hmm.
everything we can. That's why if you click on that registration link on the homepage, you'll see one of the questions on the form is asking you about times of day that you are
Mm-hmm.
available. And that's so that we can begin the matchmaking process and figure out when we can schedule a section.
Exactly. And we have time lords. We have time
Exactly.
lords.
We
So
do.
we know how to make it happen. Okay. And another initiative that I wanted to share, we will be starting our Blizzard Bag initiative coming up soon this winter. We've already started several Blizzard Bags, but what is a Blizzard Bag? I should probably rewind and share that with you. So, a Blizzard Bag is for that school cancellation day or that day homesick where you're just thinking, well, great, we're all stuck in the house. What do we do? Blizzard Bags is here to help. We will have activities available on the Signum Academy website for you to download these packets. I say packets. These digital packets. I'll say. This will give you access to activities, to links, to texts that are available in the public domain. Knowing that you may not be able to leave your house because getting stuck inside. It happens. Stuck inside on a snowy day with snow all the way up to your doorstep. You're not going to be able to go on a trip to the library, but we'll provide you with not only public domain texts, but links to websites that provide public domain texts, recorded mini lessons. These are going to be activities for all ages and will be available on the Signum Academy website. So if you're not sure about what to do, if you're stuck inside on a snowy day, if you're homesick, parents, this is the opportunity to say, okay, Signum Academy, I'm on it. All right. We now have the opportunity for questions. If you have questions for Signum Academy clubs, if you have questions for Corey or for myself, type them in the chat box. Ask away.
Awesome. Thank you, Elise. Yeah, we are excited. Now, the one other thing I would add, just to reemphasize, I mentioned it earlier in the State of the University address, but we have been, as Elise also mentioned, been partnering with a local school, well, local to me here in New Hampshire, where we are running their Spanish classes for them. And this is languages in particular, I know, can be really challenging for small schools. Small schools, which are, of course, usually drawing not only their students, but also their teachers from their local communities. And sometimes, you're a small school, maybe you're a little small private school in a relatively remote location, and you might want to offer language. Some of your students might want to take languages that you just can't offer. You just can't find local teachers for. We can help with that, and that's exactly what we're doing at Mount Royal Academy here in New Hampshire with their Spanish classes now, because they were having staffing issues, and we worked that out with them last year, and they came back and wanted us to do them again this year. So that's been really fun. So anyway, I just wanted to throw that out again. If anybody who is listening either now or asynchronously later on, who knows or is connected with any schools that might have that kind of need or desire, we would be happy to talk to them. So again, just send an email to academy@signumu.org, and we can talk about that. First Fish, great question. Do the red states apply to clubs? They do not, I am delighted to say. Red states is complicated because of reasons, and you absolutely don't want to get me started talking about this. Uh, there's like half of the states in the country, people who live in those states are not allowed to enroll in our MA program right now. That will go away eventually, but it's a thing that drives me crazy. And it's been such a happy, pleasant day. I don't want to talk about that. But in any case,
that doesn't apply to clubs.
It does not apply to clubs. Anyone from anywhere are welcome to. And speaking of from anywhere, we've had not only just Americans, but people outside the country. I think Turkey is our most remote geographic location.
From Turkey in book club.
Yeah, exactly. Which was a time zone challenge, admittedly.
But we did it.
But we did it. We did it. Exactly. Yeah, cool. So, so the age group, people were asking about the age group, generally 3rd to 12th grade. So normally we haven't done clubs for kids younger. Is 8 pretty much the youngest we've gone so far?
I think so. Yeah. I mean, the student I currently have is in the upper fifth grade range. Mm-hmm. So 3rd grade, I would love to do a kitty kids program. I am experienced with early childhood.
Yeah.
However, it's hard to keep little ones seated in front of a computer without smearing peanut butter on the keyboard for very long.
Yeah.
So we're still working out exactly how that would work with Signum Academy. But yes, third grade, and we do try to keep the groups as close in age range as possible. We do have 1 or 2 sections where we have like a 9th grader and a 12th grader, but that's just because that's just how the chips fell when it came to coming up with that time slot. But we're not going to have a 3rd grader with a 12th grader. That might be a little weird.
A little bit, yeah. But no, that is it is true. At Signum University, we have been very successful for a long time in doing remote education that is successfully engaging with students. But at age 5, that would be a special challenge, I think. We're
having had experience in early childhood Zoom meetings.
Yes.
It is a challenge. It's a fun challenge, but it's a challenge.
Yeah, for sure. So anyway, so we're looking at like, minimum age 8 or so up through through 17 basically.
Yes. 12th grade.
Yep, 12th grade. Very cool. All right, awesome. Well, thank you so much, Elise. I appreciate you joining us. And again, please do, folks, go to Signum University. Oh, wait, what did I already lost the thing. Oh, yeah, signumuniversity.org / well, never mind. I'm not going to do the whole thing. I did the link. I can do it again. The Academy homepage. Sorry, I got to find it now. Okay, hang on. I got it. I'll post it again.
You can do it. I believe
Here
in
it
you.
is. Okay, and there we go. There's the Signum Academy homepage again. You can go there and go down to the registration page to express interest. Tell friends and family. The club's experience is a really awesome opportunity, and we hope that folks will be able to join us for that in Space for Kids. Or people coming from clubs for adults.
We came first.
Totally.
We came first.
Absolutely did. Okay. Thank you, Elise. Appreciate it.
Thank you, Corey. Bye-bye.
Bye. Okay, so I'm going to